If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me give you a rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need, all in one place. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify, with a single tap. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. That's right, it won't cost you a dime. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You won't regret it. Welcome to Of Men, For Men. Here we'll discuss issues pertaining to the modern day man. Subjects like health, wealth, lifestyle, gear, and relationships. So join me as we dive into the world of men for men. Hello, and welcome to the Of Men For Men podcast. I am your host, James Rodney Lee Max. Yeah, all right, yeah, come on. All right, yeah. All right, welcome to the show. Come on in, kick back, relax. Grab yourself a cool one. Hey. All right, man. The weekend come and gone, man. Just like that. Whew. I tell you what. And we got a long week ahead. There's a lot going on, people. A lot going on. Everybody wanting to shoot each other up. Everybody acting crazy. I tell you what, it ain't safe to go nowhere. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. Prepare yourselves, gentlemen. Prepare yourselves. The worst is yet to come, okay? I'm dead serious when I say that. I ain't playing. I mean that. I want you to be prepared for whatever's coming. I don't know exactly what that is. I just know whatever it is, it's going to be a lot worse than it is now before it gets any better. And it ain't looking good for the home team. Well, let me get to the subject at hand. I was on Twitter the other day, not yesterday, I believe it was the night before. And doing what I do on Twitter. Political commentary, culture commentary, promoting the show, interacting, with others on there. And don't get caught in the mix, gentlemen. If you on some of these social media sites and you see somebody post something stupid, if you feel the need to make a comment, I mean, you absolutely feel the need to do so. Just make your comment and move on. Right? Because you're not going to change any of these people's minds. All right? If their comment is that stupid and that outlandish, you can call them out on it, but you're not going to change their mind. You can present all the facts you want to. These people are already stuck on stupid, okay? So you're not going to change anybody's mind. So don't even attempt that. But if you feel the need to make a comment, man, knock yourself out, right? But don't get caught in a Twitter war or a Facebook war or something. Whatever platform it is, and try to change somebody's mind over the internet. You're not going to do it. And these keyboard warriors, especially these liberal ones, I mean, they'll dogpile on you behind, right? So just know what you're doing, right? But I was on there and I seen a post from a young lady. I say young lady. I don't know how old she is, but it doesn't matter. They're all young ladies, right? And she had posted on there that her ex-husband, not her husband, but her ex-husband, had taken his own life, and she was feeling so bad about it, and that she had wished he had reached out to her. And she, was like, another part of the comment was like, we need to do better, for our men. And I quoted her tweet, and quoted means, I retweeted it, but then I put something on top of it, and I put something to the fact that, men needs somebody that gives a fuck about their well-being and in their heart and all that kind of stuff too, because men aren't raised to be emotional, or at least they didn't used to be. It seems like they are now. These young men are all up in their feels all the time. When I was coming up, you didn't get emotional about shit. That wasn't manly. You did what you had to do, whether you liked it or not. You might have bitched about it a little bit, but you did it. Now everything is connected to everybody's feelings. That's why everybody's all pissed off and offended all the time, right? And, you got all this political correctness and wokeness and all this other bullshit going on, because everybody's all up in their feels all the time, and they got a virtue signal so they can feel good about themselves and get clicks and likes and whatever, so they feel good. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. But, back in the day, you just had to suck it up, move on. You fell off the swing or monkey bars or something, you scraped your elbow, you washed it off and you brushed it off and kept on going. You didn't go home and crying and get mom to put some stuff on. You did that after you was done. Hey mom, look what happened out on the playground today. Oh my God. And then she'd clean it up, put some Mercurochrome on it and put a Band-Aid on it, right? Tell you to keep it clean. But you didn't go crying off, at that particular moment and do it. You just kept on going, right? But now, that's not the case. But the thing is, we were just raised different. You just moved on. You did what you had to do. You moved on about it, and that it was just the way it was. That was part of it. That was part of the program. But she you could tell that she was very remorseful that her ex-husband. Obviously she still had some feelings for him. I think they had some children together, perhaps. I don't really recall. Because she said something about his daughter being taken away from him. So apparently he didn't have visitation, or maybe he had custody and it was taken away or something like that. And, she thought that was, bad or cruel or what have you. And, your kids mean a lot to you. I've been through that, and it's tough. It's tough. Right? But that's the way the courts are set up. They're set up for the females. They're not set up for you. You know that going in, right? I done told you 100 times. If you get married and you start having kids, just know that anything happens to that marriage, she's going to get them kids unless you can prove her to be an unfit mother. And that's a bridge too far for most people. I mean, they have, she basically got to, be public enemy number one, for you to get custody of them kids unless she just, gives them up to you. I mean, that's an uphill battle. So then you're going to have to play the visitation and the child support game, and that's a whole nother bag of tricks, and they're not related. They're two separate entities. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're paying your child support on time and all that does not mean that you get to see your kids. She can still come up with every excuse under the sun to prevent you, and then you have to take her to court. It's a vicious cycle, gentlemen. That's why I say you know what you're getting yourself into before you do that. But back to the story. She was, but I told her. I said, I tweeted, I sent another tweet to her, and I told her that it was approximately 60% of all suicides are by men, the majority. About 10%. So it's 60-40 of suicides are by men. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I told her, that that men suffer in silence for the most part, and we don't have any kind of support. Females got all these support groups and networks and government agencies and entities and non-government agencies, organizations, NGOs. I know you've heard of those, non-governmental organizations, that they can run to and go to and get help and assistance and free this and free that, and get hooked up with all the necessities that they need. If they're lacking something, there's a way for them to get it. But for you, as a man, as a single man, there ain't shit out there for you. Even if you're a veteran, it's still a pain in the ass. There are some things out there for veterans, but for the most part, there's nothing out there for you. You got to get it on your own. There's no backup plan. There's no safety net for you. And she agreed, and there was a bunch of other people piping in, and they all agreed. There was only one bitch in there that my grandmother taught me everything and blah blah blah. She wasn't having none of the men stuff. I mean, she didn't say anything negative about men, but it was all womanhood shit. But I didn't reply or say anything to her. She was just trying to jump in the conversation and promote, bitchness. Not business. And that's fine. That's, again, don't get into it with them. Right? Because, this woman, felt bad for her husband. What is your grandmother teaching you anything about anything got anything to do with it? Nothing. So stay out of the conversation. This woman was feeling bad about her husband. And, I told her, like I said, 60% of all suicides are by men. And again, there's no real support. There's no safety net for men. And on top of that, everybody wants, of course, with all these mass shootings, these young men, angry men, the majority of them, I would say nearly all, are from broken homes. And they get a hold of an assault rifle. And then they go shoot up something. Usually it's a school. You know why? Because ain't nobody in school got a gun. And those are soft targets. Easy targets. You notice they don't go to a police station or a gun show. Right? They don't go shoot that place up. Where do they go? Go to a school. Ain't no guns or gun free zone, right? Easy pickings for somebody who's angry and just wants to shoot a gun and kill a bunch of people. It's ridiculous. And now people are arguing about how to fix it. You know, you got the left wanting to take all the guns away, and then the right says just harden the schools, which is an easy process, right? That's what I say. It's not safe to go out public. But, 54%, I believe it's 54% of all deaths are gun-related deaths. 54% of all gun-related deaths are 50. Hold on, I'm trying to remember my statistics here now. I don't have them in front of me. I was looking them up the other day. 54% of all gun-related deaths are by suicide. So you got 60% of suicides are committed by men, and gun-related deaths, all gun-related deaths, over half of those are just suicides. You know, it's not like there's a tremendous... I mean, yeah, there's a lot of violent crime out there. That's a given. And it's been on the rise since 2020. And they, turned BLM and Antifa loose to go, rape, rob, and pillage this country in these cities. These, mostly Democrat-run cities, where they just turned them loose and didn't stop them. So the crime rate has been on the rise, and they've vilified the police, and the DAs are just letting them loose without bail, and they're not incarcerating anybody anymore for damn near anything. But 54% of all gun-related deaths in this country are... Because I also saw somebody had tweeted, about how many thousands of people had been killed by guns in the United States. So, I'm like, check yourself. That's true. But not all of those are, from like crime and robbery and all that. Over half of those are self-inflicted. Okay. And, so, I just don't like it when people try to misrepresent the facts, because, they're trying to get their point across, and they will omit data or information, right? But, it's tough out there, gentlemen. I get it. I've been through some very hard times. I've been through some very difficult times, and I understand. I don't know your exact situation. I don't know exactly what you're going through. But I can tell you, I have been through some difficult times. Some very difficult times. Hard times. You'd be surprised. But I made it. Right? Those that tried to inflict harm on me, separated me from my kids, destroyed my family. At first I wanted to hurt them. But then I go to jail. Then I go to prison, right? I mean, because we all grieve. We all grieve when we go through those processes. But you got to get through that process, and you got to deal with it, and you got to realize, that life goes on. It's not the end of the world, and you can make it. I mean, these are life-altering, life-changing things. People can make decisions. Like I said, that's why you got to know who you're getting involved with before you get involved with them. But because if they decide that they wake up one day and they don't love you no more, your life can be drastically altered, drastically changed in a moment. And she didn't really wake up. I mean, she's been thinking about that for months. Okay, you just found out. I've talked about that. Women don't just, tell you to kick rocks In their mind, they left months ago, regardless of what's been going on. They've been thinking about this for a long time. And they finally, decide to do it. But the best thing you can do, the best revenge you can take on something or someone or a situation is to live a good life. And that's what I decided to do. But I've been there. I've had those thoughts. You know those thoughts? Those thoughts where you think about deleting yourself. You think about making a permanent decision based on a temporary feeling. Don't do that. Don't do that, gentlemen. You're all here for a reason. And I'm not one of these people, everything happens for a reason. Yeah, God's got a plan. Sometimes I wish He would clue me in on it. But sometimes the things happen for no rhyme and no reason. They get these mass murderers or these serial killers or whatever, and they ask, well, why'd you do this? Well, she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of shit is random, and it's up to you to deal with it. So sometimes it's nothing you did, nothing you said. They're just not feeling it. They're all in their feels, and they're not feeling it. And one day they will come to regret it. Because if you move on and you live a good, full life, a happy life, a successful life, they will realize their mistake and wish they hadn't have done what they did. And they will have the remorse. They will have the regret, not you. So don't take an easy exit. Don't delete. Don't yeet yourself. And then leave your kids. And it shows weakness. And you don't want to be weak. You're stronger than that. You're more powerful than that. Take your life in your own hands and live it. Live your life, gentlemen. Live a good life, a successful life, a happy life. It's up to you. Don't give the other person control. Don't give them control over you. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you need somebody to talk to, call a friend, call a buddy, call a loved one, call a family member. Call somebody. There's hotlines and stuff you can call. You can look them up on the internet. I don't have one here in front of me because I don't want to advertise one over the other. I don't know, what the best one is. You may call one and say, man, F you. And you may call one and they may be able to help you. But call somebody. I don't care who you call. Right? Or talk to somebody. And if you're having some of those inclinations and you have a firearm in the house, maybe you want to, have a friend or have a relative or somebody you trust hold it for you for a little bit. So you're not tempted. Right? So it's not around and you don't look at it and think about it. You'll be okay for a few days or a week or a couple of weeks. That you don't have it around. Until you get past those thoughts, until those thoughts are no longer with you. And you make a decision to do the best thing you can do. And that's live your life. And be around for your kids. Eventually they're going to need you. They might not need you, when they're young and doing stuff. But they're going to need you one day. And if you just take yourself out, if you delete yourself, they're just going to be left, oh, well, there's going to be a lot of unanswered questions for them. And you'll find somebody else. I hear about these young guys, that get all involved with a female and then she breaks it off or finds somebody else or something, and then, then they I don't understand that at all. You got the rest of your life to live. Right? But they do. They make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. Take care of yourselves, gentlemen. Take care of each other. Mentor one another. Check on people. See how they doing, right? Check on them. Just because, they wearing a smile don't mean they ain't falling apart on the inside. Ask them. Talk to them. Pull them aside. We've got to do this for each other, my friends. I don't want to see any of you leave too soon. Okay? I appreciate each and every one of you. The channel. The podcast is growing slowly, steadily, and that's the way I like it. Quality over quantity, right? Check out the social media websites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Gab, Parler, Locals. Leave me a comment. Subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so with the app that you're using right now, with the support button. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. I have been James Rodney Lemax, and you have been great. Yeah, all right. This will be a weekly podcast. You can find it on the Anchor app and anywhere podcasts are available. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. I look forward to seeing you there.